Catch me riding solo. All right. Ready to go? Ready to go? Ready to go. Let's do this. Yeah. Bring us in.
This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jensen Maydew, Tony Caranco, and your host, Wes Underwood.
Yeah, I know that's not our theme song, but welcome into the Sports Timeout Podcast brought to you by Jeffersons. Free fried pickle Fridays. And also, if you're a college student, 50-cent boneless Thursdays are back. Go check out Robert's Integrative Dentistry in Joplin if, you want to go get your teeth cleaned after that. Eating them wings and, getting fries or whatever you do over there. Drinking the soda, getting an adult beverage, all that jazz. But yeah, head on over to Robert's Integrative, though, if you're looking for a brighter, straighter smile. And be sure to schedule your appointment today at 417-622-0404. Probably going to have to wait till next week on that. Out of town. Got a lot going on over there for them. Good stuff. Good stuff. And, don't forget to check out our sponsor in TeeTime, just south of Ghetto Tacos in Webb City. And four-man scramble every week, and they'll pick a different course, play 18. Best score wins. They got a couple weeks left on that now. So get in there. They'll record the closest hole or pick a certain one and use that for a tiebreaker. So yeah, look forward to that. That sounds fun. Need to get over there. If you don't get over there for that, get over there for cornhole too. They got tournaments and stuff. Just be paying attention to their social. They got a lot of stuff going. But it's gonna be fun. $250 per team. It's for 5 weeks of play. We're down to probably 3 now. So just $15 a person. If you do that, if that doesn't intrigue you, be like me. Go get some iced coffee. Yeah. Wes Underwood, heard me in the beginning. Solo. Clint, Tony, Jensen, Kennedy, all out. We got a good one going. And, well, Tony joins. How are you? Oh. Welcome in.
Can
Welcome in.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you already get started?
We have. Welcome in.
Yes, thank you. I'm getting set up. Well, you said that.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll get us going in NCAA talk here.
Right.
And top 25. Go ahead and go over the top 10. I called another one last week, and that's Army Navy. Told you guys to put them in the top 25, and you did. Thank you for listening to the pod. But I'm still not intrigued by the top 10 though. We'll get back to Army Navy here in a minute, but top 10, Texas at number 1. Okay, I'm good with that one. Oregon at number 2. They did upset last week. They got a win there. So I'll take 2 for now. I'll accept that as well. Penn State at 3. That's where I'm going to draw my line. Penn State deserves to be in here. All right. 6. 6-0 for them. I'll take that. And then Miami, number 6. Should be where Ohio State is, and ahead of Georgia as well, who are the 4 and 5. 7 goes to Bama, 8 to LSU. Why? What? What does LSU get 8 for? They took down an overranked Ole Miss team, but also lost to a ranked 23 team in USC at the beginning of the year who couldn't beat Michigan or Penn State. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. But Iowa State at 9, Clemson at 10. People talk about the NFL and how boring it is. See the Chiefs and other teams of the past, Patriots and so on. Just those teams. Broncos, people didn't like it when they repeated and did what they did. And just the list goes on. And people get tired of the repeats, except for those fan bases, obviously. And nothing changes in the NCAA. Like BYU's undefeated and whomped K-State. They're at 13, not top 10. And then you got them moving into the Big 12. Like they wanted to come in to the Big 12. They wanted to be noticed. They wanted to play tougher opponents to have a shot at the playoff. And where are they sitting? I mean, right on the door, I guess, but they could be in the top 10. Could be top 5, actually, with how everybody is right now. I mean, we got a lot of one-loss teams in this that are kind of starting to get that chatter going. And then Iowa State, undefeated there as well. I mean, they beat a ranked Iowa team, did they not? But they're not in the top 5. And then Miami for me, and then it's Iowa State and BYU should be the 4 through 6 teams. Indiana, who's ranked first in the same conference as Oregon, Pitt, who has SMU, Clemson, and Louisville. I mean, all this happens and still no respect, but I'll give them Army and Navy in the top 25. It's crazy, but what are your thoughts here? I mean, that's a lot to divulge, but
Right. Well, the biggest and most important thing to me that qualifies what should be in the top 10 is whether or not they're having fun.
yeah.
Um, yeah. No, man, I'm too ignorant to the college football to really give a solid opinion. Uh,
Fair
I kind of
enough.
grew up a Texas fan, so I can like jump on the bandwagon right now and say like, yeah, I mean, that's where we need to be. Um,
Even
but
though
yeah,
it's led by a Manning?
yeah, I don't have an issue with Mannings.
Nah, a lot of people actually don't.
Yeah,
Just the
no,
Patriots fans, but
right. I mean, I do. I will say it's those top 25s are obviously meant to like get people talking. At the end of the day, and um, I don't think they're probably too far off. But yeah, there's obviously going to be some picks in there that are going to be a little bit more controversial.
yeah,
Um, you
absolutely.
know, like you mentioned, whoever lost to USC early on. Um,
Yeah,
so like when like stuff, I mean, like stuff like that happens. But again, they could also be seeing something, or they know something that we don't, right? Because like I mean, that's like their entire world. So like maybe they aren't like super far off.
yeah. I mean, just how it's gone over the last few weeks, I just feel like I was making a thing last week, like, why not put Army and Navy in there? I mean, they're both undefeated, and I
Right.
can't remember which one it was, but one of them's on a 9-game winning streak going into last season. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's pretty cool, because I don't know how often that happens where like both the Army and the Navy are
I
in the
think
top.
recently it's been probably every 4 or 5 years they get like a really good class and then they play well, but then they get dominated. So,
Right.
which I can understand that. I mean, they don't have a big conference and they just go find opponents. So,
Right.
but
Um,
yeah.
uh, but yeah, no, I don't know enough. I do know that Tennessee lost, so that was cool. Um, to Arkansas. So,
Yes.
do you know anything about that player that was who played at Lee's Summit? He's like my age. He's like 27, 28.
Hmm.
And like straight out of high school, he went to go play baseball, like professional baseball. Um, I don't know what happened. Point is, he never even played a down or an inning of college football
Yeah.
or baseball, and he got picked back up by Arkansas early in the season. Like,
Yeah.
so
I did hear that.
I'm not sure if you know anything about that yourself.
I did. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I mean, he's still got his eligibility. So,
Right. Well, apparently he was doing pretty good during camp. So I mean that's the last I heard of it, but I
I
wasn't
mean,
sure
if
if you.
his MLB career didn't pan out and he still needs that development and finally is like, okay, maybe I should. Sure. I mean, you've heard, I don't know if you don't really follow baseball, but there was a guy named Jim Morris, kind of the same story. Didn't go back to college, but challenged his team. And there's a movie about it called The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. And kind of a similar story where like he went, but he got hurt and never went back. And so 40 years old, his team challenges him, gets him to state, like they take him to state as a coach. because he's like, what does it take to get you guys to win? And they do that. And so his bet was to go try out. Well, he tried out, was throwing 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. And I'm just
Right.
like, stories like that, like, yeah, it's possible. It can happen. So keep our
Right.
eye on that one and see how that pans out this year. I actually want to see how that goes. I did hear about it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We should follow up on it next week, and
That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, maybe he didn't, make the cut, but maybe he
Yeah,
did.
never know. All right. Next up, we'll go ahead and talk NFL. Fun one this week, and I posted it on our social media page on Facebook. And this one has got me just kind of like, okay. But it's about worst NFL coaching hires of all time. And this was from Pro Football Network. And, some of these I agree with. We show the list here. Adam Gase. I mean, he went to the playoffs, was 32-48, but okay. Freddie Kitchens, 6-10 in one season. Yeah, sure, you can be on that list. Rich Kotite, he was on the list. Overall, he was 40-56 in his career and had a playoff appearance. So I don't feel like that's a big bust. Matt Patricia, obviously, we saw him leave the Patriots and go to the Lions, 13-29. Joe Judge, 10-23 with the Giants. David Shula, 19-52 in his career. Hugh Jackson, um, left the Raiders, went to the Browns, 3-36 with Cleveland. Bobby Petrino stepped out of the college coaching world to go pro. Atlanta, 3-10. Nate Hackett, currently still in the league, 4-11. Urban Meyer, 2-11. That's their number one pick and fired before the season even ended with Jaguars. But I mean, I don't like most of them on this list for all time. Like if you're going to go all time and you're going to go top 10, some of these guys were not all that bad, as I just mentioned. But I mean, so going to go ahead and give mine and then chime in if you have any extras. But I mean, number 10 for me, Lane Kiffin, 5-15. I mean, really didn't cut it in the NFL, had a lot of issues. People didn't like him. He didn't get along with people. Chris Palmer, 5-27. A lot of people didn't like him either. Nate Hackett, who's still kind of in the NFL, just got demoted this week as the Jets coordinator, got his head coach fired, was horrible in Denver. Yeah, 4-11 overall for him. Rich Williamson, 4-15. Again, Bobby Petrino for me does make that list at 6, 3-10. Cam Cameron, I don't remember if a lot of people remember that guy, but Miami had him at 1-15. I mean, not the 0-16 teams, but still 1-15. Like, cool, I guess you got to win, but man, like really rough. And then 4 has to be Urban Meyer for me. Yeah, 2-11 got canned, but I mean, he's not as bad as these guys here. You got my third, Hugh Jackson, 3-36. Like, just couldn't cut it. And he had Baker Mayfield for a little bit, and he couldn't cut it. Like, okay, cool. He's also the guy that I believe brought in Johnny Manziel and some other things. And yeah, just I don't know how he lasted that long, but he did. Then you had Bill Peterson, 1-18 in his career, and then Rod Rust, 1-15. So for me, I mean, the list I showed y'all, Hackett, Petrino, Meyer, Jackson, I mean, I didn't agree with, but yeah, y'all, you have anybody else that I missed or you kind of agree with that one? I mean, those are some big names, but kind of bad names at that too.
Right. I mean, no, I mean, I wouldn't really have any additional thoughts to put into it. However, I mean, it isn't obviously it's not easy to be a head coach.
Yeah.
But man, 3-36, it's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he stayed around that long.
No, I
Uh,
really, other than maybe his personality with the league or the ownership, I don't know.
Maybe the players really liked him, but I don't know, man. Like typically, players don't like to lose. Um,
No,
but
no.
I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, I guess in Cleveland they might, but
Yeah, it was just kind of a trick of the trade, I guess. There,
yeah, I, it's crazy.
it is pretty insane. But yeah, no, I mean, there's some of them, like the guy that went 6-10, that's really not. I mean, it's not good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, it could have been 3-36.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he doubled the wins with that guy, and he stayed around way longer. So
I mean, David Shula, like that one gets me. I'd put him on my list overall, but I mean, he didn't even make the top 10. He might be in the top 20 because I mean, he had a successful season here and there, but oh man, yeah, Freddie Kitchens, I mean, close, but not on my list. Gase, I mean, come on. He went to the playoffs, did good with the Jets, really, in my opinion. Didn't have much to
yeah,
work with when he got there, but still got him there. So,
right,
but yeah,
yeah,
well, we'll go ahead and let that one be and move on in the NFL. And we talk trades and heading into week 7, and things are heating up. Jets get Devontae Adams from the Raiders. Get almost nothing back in return for him on the Raiders side. I mean, typical Raiders there. They got the second round pick, but in today, I feel like second round isn't that great when you're getting a guy the caliber of Adams and yeah. But the Bills, they get Cooper. I feel they're kind of more on the way, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I feel that there's a few more coming, but big question though is do either of these trades make their new teams a playoff contender because the Bills again add Cooper to this 4-2 team in a very down AFC East. And as the Jets get better, the Pats are worse. They're 1-5. They're just terrible. Miami is in decision mode. Are they sellers or are they going to rebuild? I mean, QB or are you going to be buyers? Like, okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, the questions that be there, but yeah, I don't know. And then mine are also the Bills. Are they a contender? Like we're gonna go both teams here because Cooper, he's 10 yards a catch, 250 so far in 6 games with 2 touchdowns. And well, next are the Jets. I mean, back in contention and adding Adams just before he sat out those few games and he had 18 catches, 209 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, I don't know. Can he get out of his snap for the bench mode and get into end zone mode? His last year with Rodgers, though, I will say, Green Bay, he had a career high 1,553 yards, 11 touchdowns, and put up 90 on 9 catches in the postseason. So I don't know. But do you feel like either of these make a difference for either team? Like
yeah. I mean,
maybe
absolutely.
Rodgers, but
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think they definitely make a difference. Um, it's but the biggest, like on paper it makes a difference, but the biggest thing is going to be really team chemistry.
yeah,
If they can find their role, um, are they going to come in? Are they going to be the number one? Are they going to be the number two? Whatever, is that going to be a hurt to their ego if they're not number ones or they're not, maybe not Cooper, like maybe he's fine, but Devontae Adams, who knows? On paper they definitely get better. I'm not going to say that they don't benefit from having them. You know, I mean it's kind of similar to the situation where a few years back the Chiefs were adding a bunch of weapons, offensive weapons to their team.
yeah,
And I kept saying like they really needed to go for more, defensive players if I thought they were going to win. And they
sure,
ended up winning. And so obviously they knew a little bit more than what I do, and it worked out for them. That gamble worked out for them. So, but I'd say that. So I'd say it's probably a very similar situation. And we were asking ourselves the same thing whenever the Chiefs made all those moves, and so they could have made worse decisions. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah. Doesn't make them playoff contenders, in my opinion. I mean, like I just said, Rodgers, sure. Give him a guy who's got confidence. Give him a guy who can get down the field and make moves. He's going to open up the other receivers that are there. There's no doubt. And at this point, I feel like Adams isn't coming in to be that number one guy, but he will be that number one guy. But I feel like he isn't coming into that situation like, okay, it's all on me now. I mean, he has his weapons. He's got Lazard. He's got Wilson, and they've been proving that they can get down the field, but it's just sloppy turnovers from a few guys who lose the ball. Rodgers throwing picks and all that stuff because no one gets open fast enough. And I mean, that's at least how I feel it is for him. And then, yeah, so just not being able to rebound and come back in those clutch moments because he's down a guy like that. Sure, I can see that. The Bills, on the other hand, I mean, really, they're not in a bad situation. And then they let go of Marquez Valdez Scantling, who could pull an upset and go to the Jets, and he could be a rotation guy off the bench for those third downs, breathers, and all that stuff. Because I mean, he has a relationship with Rodgers too. And then, based off that, does he go back to the Chiefs? He could just sign a friendly deal, doesn't get paid all that money that he lost out on when he left there to go to the Bills. I don't know. I feel like the Bills maybe wanted him just to kind of like, cool, we got a weapon. Oh, maybe not. So we'll just get Cooper. I don't know. But Cooper, I don't feel like, yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah, he can catch the ball, but look what he did in Oakland. Cleveland, he just kind of sat there. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, but yeah, they're on paper. I'm just kind of just reiterating what I said already. On paper, I think they definitely go in there and at least make a positive difference. I'm not saying how much, but
Yeah.
but somewhat.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we'll head into the WNBA and we'll talk Liberty. Man, they were down in this series 0-1 to Minnesota, but now they have kind of just found their way back and they're up 2-1. And the Liberty, who I think are the team that takes this uh, series, but they're going to head on into Minnesota and try to close this out tonight at 7 p.m. But look, if the Liberty want to seal it and take care of business and get that dub in, Minnesota, well, some things need to happen. Stewart, in my opinion, needs a double double. She's going to have to get over 25 points and at least 10 rebounds, is where I'm at. She put up 30 in her last performance. And then also, you need to see some work out of Lainey Hamilton, who also needs to contribute points as well. And I feel like if those two click, and I think it's lights out for them, like they're going to win. But on the other side, we have Missouri native Fess Collier, and yeah, she's on that Minnesota team. And if she can put up over 20 and the Lynx defense can step it up and shut down those two that I just mentioned, and then Smith and Williams for the Lynx get hot, then we could see a game 5. But we'll see. I don't know. Not much more to add here, but it's been a fun series so far, and I'm excited for how it's been. I really want the Liberty to win, but Collier being the Missouri girl and knowing some friends locally who have played with her and know her just kind of adds that sentimental value for me and why I want Minnesota to win. But any thoughts on this one?
Yep.
No? All right. All right. Do, 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 do. And, well, yeah. Go ahead and move into soccer talk. And that is going to be brought to you by the Corner Kick in Neosho. Go check them out. Check out Sam at and his shop. Be sure to check him out at 1411 Blue Oak Lane, Suite C, Neosho, Missouri. And they have the largest soccer store in Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, Southeast Kansas, and Northeastern Oklahoma. Check them out for your football needs Tuesday through Sunday. And you might not be able to catch him Saturday because I know that he's got tickets as they won him off of the podcast going up to the not sporting, but Current's final home game. So hopefully they get to see some awesome stuff there. And speaking of the Current, we talked records last week, and this week we got a treat as we get to talk Current in depth with one of the people in the organization who helps them run. And well, take a look. All right, and we bring on one of the people from behind the scenes who helps make the Current organization look great, and that's Miss Dani Welniak. How are you?
Wes, I'm so good, and I am so blessed to be able to jump on with you instead of being behind the scenes and, interacting with the players
Yeah.
and navigating things for you guys in the media. This is a blast. So I can't imagine a better place to be. So we're grateful for your coverage and even more grateful for you coming out here to CPKC Stadium and playing in the media game. So pros pro, let's
Oh
go.
man. Next year, y'all will be getting a little more videos. So I got
Oh,
something in the
yeah?
works. So we
Oh,
got that.
wow.
But
I can't wait. That's literally what I live for.
I'm excited. I'm hoping everything goes well. But yeah. So all right, little background. You played professional women's football for the Dallas Diamonds, 4 seasons. You won a Super Bowl. You got a gold medal for USA, and you had a few Pro Bowl appearances. Quite a list of things there for you to get going. Leads to my first question. What led you to that route to play women's football?
Oh my gosh. So long story short, I had a friend's cousin who played for the team when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I originally thought that I was going to go play college softball somewhere because that was my love. And then ended up meeting her. And she came out to one of our Powder Puff games at the end of our senior year in high school
Okay.
and told me that I needed to come try out for this team that was called the Dallas Diamonds. And they were just this dominant women's football team. And all I thought was like, no way. Like this seems way too good to be true. So I ended up getting a chance to go out there, try it out for the team, fell in love with it, was told by the offensive coordinator that I could be a game changer. And the rest is history. Now I've got the resume to prove it. And I fell in love with football and was able to do that while also going to college. So it opened up a lot of really amazing doors for me. And I loved playing slot receiver. I loved playing running back. I was very proud of my kick return skills. And, that's when the rules were like, the normal kickoff, punt return
Yeah.
rules. All this stuff's changed, these kids these days. Um, we'll never know all the rules.
Yeah.
But it was a really amazing experience for me, and it also increased my passion for just women in professional sports.
Oh
And
yeah.
so without that, I wouldn't be here. And I seriously loved every second of it and loved the opportunities I had with my teammates. Not sure the accolades are great, but getting to meet so many different people and so many different people of so many different cultures and backgrounds and beliefs and views. And I love football so much because it is like kind of the epitome of what like society should be. You've
Yeah.
got all these different women of different shapes and sizes and again colors, ethnicities, backgrounds, different religious beliefs, and yet you all come together for one goal, and it's
Yeah.
to win a championship. And so you all rally around that, and it's a pretty powerful thing to be on a team like that.
Where is that gold medal now?
It's hanging in our workout room
Okay.
in my house. So
Okay.
it's just that little extra motivation when you're on the treadmill, like, man, maybe I can get like back to that shape. Like back in the day when I was like truck sticking other people and defenders. I don't think I'll ever get back to that kind of strength. It was like my
Hey.
prime, but
Yeah.
I definitely every time I'm down there working out, I'm like, let's go.
I mean, I'm up there in age too. I hate to say that. I mean, mid 30s, but hey, I mean, it's like you get up and oh shoot, it's cold and my back's stiff. Cool. It's ridiculous, but hey. So you talk about OSU, Oklahoma State, and you joined that new sports media program that they had. Finish out, and then you find yourself with Kansas City working for KCTV5 and the
Yep.
Chiefs at the same time. What drew you up to the Kansas City area, and how'd you end up covering the Chiefs as well?
Okay, so again, all of my stories are a little bit crazy, so I do apologize for their length.
No.
I went to Oklahoma State, like you mentioned. I got my first job out in Dodge City, Kansas, as a bureau reporter.
Okay.
And it's funny because I applied for like 50 or 60 jobs across the country and only got called back from two of them.
Oh,
One
wow.
was in Alabama who told me that I wasn't qualified for the job. It was like a sports director job. I'm like, okay, understandable, college kid, whatevs. But then Dodge City called me and it was actually their Wichita station. KWCH said, hey, we've got this job opening in Dodge City, a bureau reporter covering high school sports. Look, we got your demo reel. This is back when we sent out CDs and DVDs and stuff. We didn't have the links. So the news director got it. He said, we got your demo reel. Looks really good. You're really enthusiastic, but it doesn't have any audio on it. So I was like, oh,
Wow.
that's great. He said, we still love the enthusiasm. Would love to bring you in. Let's do it. So I did. I drove up to Wichita and interviewed there and got my first job out in Dodge City, Kansas, covering high school sports for Catch It Kansas. And
Wow.
I tell people I got two greatest things in my life out of it. I got my first job and I met my husband out there playing
Awesome.
co-rec softball. So God bless him. He has been my rock and has been with me every step of the journey. And I could not do what I'm doing today without him. So we went from Dodge City. I got promoted into Wichita at KWCH and then got an opportunity in Kansas City with KCTV5 as the weekend sports anchor at the time, and also the Chiefs sideline radio analyst for their radio network.
Yeah.
So that was amazing and incredible. And Dan Israel, their executive producer, pretty much found me. Having the football background and being
Yeah.
a female was very helpful when having those conversations. And one of the early conversations we had, he was like, okay, I need to know that you really know what you're talking about. And so I grabbed a napkin and I drew him a route tree. And he was like, oh, that's it. Let's go. You're hired. And it's been history ever since. And it was an incredible opportunity to be able to, be along for that ride.
Yeah.
But now to transition from that and being a sports journalist and being a, sports director, for 6.5 years, covering everything, covered a Chiefs Super Bowl, got a chance to cover the Royals World Series, covered KU winning a national championship.
Yeah.
So I've been around, I've seen some things. And now to be a part of the other side of it, the flip side of it, the PR, the communication side with the Kansas City Current is remarkable, and it's a dream come true.
Yeah. And I mean, you speak of that 2022, join the current staff. I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit there, but what was the initial pull that kind of led you to leave the sportscasting world to become an executive director of communications and now vice president of communications?
There were a lot of different things. I think primarily it was the vision of the ownership group. I mean, Angie Long, Chris Long, Brittany Mahomes, and I just saw what they were doing and got to talk to them about what they were doing and what they were bringing here to Kansas City. And I was so inspired by it. And as a sports journalist and being the only female sports director in the market, I wanted to be able to bring that coverage to Kansas Cityans. I wanted to be someone who did my sportscasts a little bit differently. I wanted women's sports in my sportscasts, or at least to encourage the local broadcast on KCTV5. KCNWSL was on KCTV5 that very first season, and I was very passionate about that.
Yeah.
And so building those relationships with Angie Long and Chris Long, and also some of the people who were on the current staff, it really showed me that this is for real. And if you've had any conversations with the Longs, I mean, their vision is incredible. They go at 1,000 miles per hour and they think of every detail, and they are so passionate about it. And the idea of bringing the first stadium purpose built for a women's team to Kansas City. I had a 1-year-old daughter at the time, and she's now 4, God bless her. But for me to be a part of that and to make history alongside this group and just be a part of changing the world for her and for future generations to come, I just could not pass up that opportunity.
It's awesome. I mean, you kind of talked about differences too. And what has been the biggest difference between reporting / directing and then working in the communications? Because, I mean, the directing aspect, you're kind of behind the scenes. Yeah, you might be able to put yourself in there here and there, but on the communication side, like you're pretty much always behind the scenes.
Hmm. So Wes, you're going to get a lot of football analogies from me, so I do apologize.
Hey,
But I like to tell people it's very much like you're going from defense to offense.
okay,
So you're going from reacting to the news that's being made to creating the strategy behind the news that is being made. So it's a different perspective, but I think it's also very helpful to have both perspectives because it shapes how you tell stories, how you tell
yeah,
player stories, who you have those conversations with, the relationships you're making, what you understand to be important to journalists, and the difference between the importance of what photographers versus videographers versus
yeah,
print media versus bloggers, like what's important to them and how do you make them successful while also telling our story to be the most impactful.
yeah,
I got to really impact the local broadcast scene, and I think that that story is a big part of what my novel is going to be. So just kind of a chapter, but I think that this is another chapter in which I get to not only impact locally, but utilize what I was able to do locally and amplify it to a national and even a global scale when it comes
yeah.
to women's sports. And I love it. I'm literally sitting here in one of the suites in CP Casey Stadium right now, looking out over the pitch. And it's every time I'm here, it's just this pinch myself moment because I mean, we're around the same age, so it's like, our grandparents had no idea, no thoughts that like they would be able to play women's sports professionally. My mom was
Sure.
like, it was kind of a glimmer, like Title IX was around.
Yeah,
I'm getting a chance to see it firsthand, but even like going to college, that was the option. It was like maybe you played in the World Cup, you played soccer, maybe you played in the Olympics like me if you played softball, but that was
yeah,
pretty much it. You didn't go pro, you couldn't make a living off of it. And now my daughter, who is 4 years old, gets to come to games all the time, and she will know nothing different than women having their own facilities and playing in front of sold out arenas. Oh,
yeah.
I just get goosebumps thinking about it. And
It's crazy.
it's a big difference to know that you're reporting the news, but now you're also getting a chance to be the news and help amplify the vision that Angie and Chris and Brittany had
Yeah,
from the beginning.
yeah. It's been a great thing to see unfold, and then now that you guys get to have that playoff game there and potentially be there for the championship, it's going to be awesome.
I I am just sitting here with bated breath. Like I'm not superstitious.
Yeah,
Um, I will say as a PR person, like that's the story you want to tell, right? You
sure.
want to have that storybook ending, and
Yep.
especially at the first season, at the first stadium purpose built for a women's professional team, to have it here would just be, I mean, there would be no story like it. That's Cinderella-esque,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
But for now, as you know, being an athlete, one game at a time, clinch the
absolutely.
playoff, clinch the home playoff quarterfinal. Like,
Yep.
let's go. Now we gotta keep winning.
Yep. And we'll go ahead and shift on to that fun stuff and a couple team questions and then some fun ones for you. And
Ooh, okay,
all right,
go.
probably one of the most talented rosters we've seen around. I mean, we're not gonna lie, hands down. I mean, world class talent all around. People have come, people have gone. Everything continues to go well. This point, they haven't really all clicked together, which is the scary part, but they're clicking at this time. And I mean, do you think other teams should be scared of what this team can do in the postseason, especially now that they have a few home games to go there?
What kind of question is that, Wes? Of course they should be afraid. Like
Yeah,
it it should be a healthy respect. And it should be fun. Like that's one of the things that I think is so important is this team is just having fun. And
yeah,
like you mentioned, they're still, still gelling, still finding that groove, and that's the scary part. So I cannot wait to see what this team looks like when they get into a postseason under head coach Vlatko
yeah.
Andonovski. And I think we're all in for a very exciting and entertaining brand of soccer.
It's awesome. And next, we get to talk on Temois. Super special player. Set the NWSL record for most goals in the season. a few weeks back, we covered that the Current kind of had half of the records in the NWSL that are like big notable records. And she gave the team over half with the seventh in the franchise history out of, we looked at it at the time, it was 12. They've added a few more in there now on the Wikipedia and then the NWSL page for other records that have been broken. But what's it been like for you to just sit back and watch this team climb into the record books over and over and over?
You talk about the stuff that's happening off the pitch that is amazing, and it's something that you want to be a part of, and you know that it's going to happen. The stuff on the pitch is the stuff that's you only see once in a generation. And it's incredible to realize that here we are in this moment in time in Kansas City, of all places, with a Royals team that just went to the playoffs, with a Chiefs team that's winning Super Bowls. And now you have an incredible women's soccer team that's headed to the playoffs, has their own facilities, and has their eyes set on a championship. The power in that is amazing. And every single week, I'm going to give our stats guru, my right-hand man, Jeff Husted, a lot of credit for all of the milestones and things that this team has hit that we have made not only local, but national and international news with, because he is so spot on and he's so on top of it. Like every time there is some kind of history made on the pitch, he's right there. He's on it. And we are the first to communicate it. So we are very blessed to have him on our team for sure. And his passion for that too just inspires me as well. Because it's like the minute you get your 18th goal score, the minute that Temwa breaks that record, the minute that you see something that you've never seen before, our entire PR room just lights up and we get so excited. Like we ourselves just scored a goal, and we all really enjoy what we do. And I think that is what also makes it so special to be in that moment. Because although we're not the ones who are scoring the goals or on the ones that are actually physically on the pitch in those moments, we get to feel like we're kind of a part of it. And I think that is a testament to our team. We have amazing athletes, to our coaching staff, because they are phenomenal humans as well. And to see TC6 doing her thing, like it's so fun, even on social media, to see when like Patrick Mahomes congratulates her. Like that's the kind of talent that you're talking about. And you are seeing elite talent here in Kansas City, and it's both on the men's and women's side. And I love that we get to be a part of it, but more so that the Kansas City community gets to be a part of it, and young women get to see what that looks like to have that elite talent right in front of them.
We got to set another one too. I mean, we got the world record for sound in the Chiefs, in football, NFL. I mean, stadium in the world too. Now we need to get those gals over there for you all and break the NWSL or just set the record in general. I mean, it can be done. I've heard it.
The way that the stadium was built with the undulated roof so that the sound could siphon back onto the pitch and be an incredibly like intimidating atmosphere. So many players after that first match, I mean, you were there talking about like how they couldn't even hear each other talk. And how they could like hear their or feel their heartbeats. It's an amazing atmosphere, and it just it fits in with the MO of everything that Kansas City is. We're loud, we're proud, and we want you, when you are a competitor, we want you to come in here and we want you to feel our presence. So it's incredible, and I have no doubt that it is. I have no doubt that it is the loudest stadium in the NWSL, hands down.
Oh, we got to you guys got to just go ahead and bring Guinness in. Just do it. just okay, have it and let it go. Especially for the first playoff game. Like, come on.
Brilliant. Yeah, that only makes sense.
Seriously. Like, we laugh, but I'm serious. Like, that's just how it's going to have to be done. It's just how it's going to have to be.
I'm laughing because this is a fantastic idea that I'm thoroughly excited about. If I wasn't excited
about it,
Jeff. Straight face. Straight face. No.
Hey, hey. All right. Now the fun ones. Ready?
Okay, let's go.
7 of those records now. Can you name them?
Oh no! This is why I have Jeff. Come on. Oh my gosh. Obviously, we have the different goal scorers in a season, single season goals. Um, gosh. Is unbeaten streak on there?
Well, we got beat though.
Well,
We had it. We did.
had it for like a second.
I know.
Um, I should be able to literally rattle these off and I can't. So here you go. Do you have them all written down?
All right. Yeah. Ready?
Go, go, go.
First NWSL goal recorded.
Okay.
Kansas City Current.
Yep.
Out of respect, I'm not going to say the player's name because I honestly don't know it.
Vanessa DiBernardo.
No. This is back when we were FC.
Oh,
Yeah,
back in
like this is
that.
overall. This is everywhere.
I was gonna say, so you're saying first goal in Kansas City history,
Yeah,
first
yeah.
women's goal in Kansas City history.
For the entire NWSL though, back in 2013.
Oh, so like that first matchup between Portland and Kansas City?
Yeah. Yep. We hold that
It wasn't
record.
Desi, was it?
No. I really don't remember. Last name started with a G. So I don't.
This is where you need Houston. This is where you need
Seriously.
Jeff to come
I
in.
mean, he would know it. I guarantee it.
He is a sports almanac. Like it's incredible.
Then we have fastest goal, Shell Cooper.
Michelle Cooper, yep.
Most goals in a game, Kristen Hamilton with 4. She's tied, but she still holds it because she
Okay.
was the most recent to do it.
Okay.
Most hat tricks in a game, Kristen Hamilton.
Hamilton, yep.
Youngest player to score,
Alex Pfeiffer.
Yeah. First goal by a goalkeeper, Betos.
Wow.
And then Timo's 19th goal on the year. And again, they've added a few more since, but yeah, I mean, it's like destiny to be in Kansas City to set records. So
I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like, everywhere I go, we win championships. So,
I almost mentioned that, but yeah.
yeah, it really has nothing to do with me. I just get to jump onto the ride and ride everybody else's coattails.
I mean, if we really want to go there, my co-host told me that when we started covering y'all, things were looking up. So,
Okay, so what you're saying is you also are a good luck charm.
I mean,
I'm here for
but
all
then
the
I've
good luck.
gone to the games
Come
and
on.
then we've had some bad results. So I'm like, maybe not. So,
You just gotta find your niche, your
yeah,
niche. You
seriously.
just like just find your lane and just go with that. Like going to games, not your lane. Covering, definitely your lane.
That honestly, and I am a little superstitious towards sports. That is kind of why I've stayed away a little bit. So I'm sorry, Jeff, if you hear this, watch this or whatever. That is half of my reason. So I apologize.
No apology necessary.
But now this will be our last one from these moments that you've had in your career. I'm gonna list some off, and I want you to name your top 3.
Ooh, okay.
I did some searching.
Okay.
It's interesting. One of these, I'm just like, okay. So your current job,
Yeah.
Pro Bowl appearance for you,
Yeah.
winning a Super Bowl, winning a gold medal, working for the Chiefs during that 2019-2020 season, graduating college, working at KCTV5, freelancing for ESPN,
I did that.
winning an Emmy,
Well, it was kind of a big deal, I guess.
getting Sportscaster of the Year, being on the board of directors for the Special Olympics. This right here, interesting. I not sure. I guess it makes sense as a young job, but feline personality testing.
Ah, yes. Volunteer work, actually, at the Kansas Humane Society.
Okay. You're gonna have to tell me more about that one later, but so yeah, top 3 out of that list that I've got.
Oh, I got a pick from that list. Gosh.
Can't choose being a mom because that's an obvious.
I mean, that's my number one. How about,
Ma-
I mean, getting married technically is not on that list either, but those are like my top two. Because
And I
like
knew you would go
without,
for that, so I didn't put them on there.
you didn't even put those on there. Those are the top two. Those are game changers in
They
life.
have to be, but we're going career wise. So,
We're going
and
career.
yeah, they happened in your career, but hey,
Um, it's interesting because I think winning the Super Bowl, women's Super Bowl, was really, really a highlight of my life and my career because A, it was us, we did it. And B, I also broke my ankle, my fibula in two places that season. It was
okay,
like 3 games into the regular season, and I rehabbed, came back, played in the playoffs, and started in the Super Bowl. So that journey in and of itself made it a very powerful moment in my life or powerful chapter.
okay,
Um, and something I'll never forget. So
that's
I
crazy.
have to go with that. And then I also have to go with opening this stadium
Okay,
because um no one, there's a very, very small group of us that will get to say that we were the first.
sure.
And um I think those two very much rival each other because the Super Bowl is selfish because it was such an amazing part of my journey.
Did you
And I
get a
get to
ring?
wear a full ring around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't
yeah.
wear it. I know. Fail. Epic fail. But also to be a part of something so much bigger than myself here on my career path and my journey was really, really powerful too. So
Yeah.
those gotta be my two.
No third?
Oh, I get to go with a third?
Feline testing? Come on.
I mean, feline personality testing actually made the most difference in the world. Let's be completely honest here, because when you go in and you feline personality test, it allows you to create a document so that people who come in and adopt their cats know exactly what they're getting. So it's like you don't have to swipe right or swipe left. You just know. You just know this is the cat that's going to match with me, and it's a
Yeah.
perfect fit. So if you do your job right, you literally changed people's and cats' lives for the better.
Do you own a cat?
Not anymore. No, tear. Sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Great interview. Good stuff. Top three's good. Yeah, pretty solid, I feel like.
I mean,
And
now
now
now I
everybody on the
feel like
team gets to watch this, right?
yeah, everyone. It's gonna be blasted all over the training facility tomorrow. So great.
Hey,
Thank you, Wes.
you
I
should,
appreciate
you should.
it.
I'm not joking. Go for it. I want to see what they do. Oh, look, she's up there.
Oh, hey, there's Dani again, doing something. It's
I mean,
fine.
hey,
She's just everywhere all the time.
seriously. I mean, I'm sure that's what you get from them.
That's
So,
exactly. It's like, oh, what's she up to today? Oh, cool, great. Please don't be too crazy,
yeah,
which I am. I'm a passionate, crazy, um, loving, caring, driven individual. So,
well, we appreciate it, and both to you and Jeff, and all the stuff that you guys do. I would say the season's coming to a close, and that you guys get to take a little bit of a break. But I mean, you got a lot to prepare for, and you guys get the championship coming in. So I'm sure he's going to be pretty up on the podium there, just like, all right, yeah,
let's
because
go.
he's not the guy that brags, but he likes to soak in those moments. I can tell. So
I mean, look, if you put the amount of work that he puts in behind the scenes, like sometimes
yeah,
you got to find your moments where you can get them.
yeah,
So I will give him those moments and he navigates them well. But I also have to give a shout out to Landon Wirt, who is our manager of business
yeah,
communications,
yeah,
and he's been here for the past 6 months. Also a rock star. So he works a lot behind the scenes and
yeah,
does not get as much credit as he deserves. So
for sure.
he's
Credit to
amazing. Shout
Landon.
out to him as well.
Yep. Yep, can't go forgetting about him because I mean what he did for the media game too. Like you all were super busy on top of him being able to do that because that match was huge. So, but
I mean, the match itself being against Orlando to unbeatens was insane.
yeah,
And then having 60 media members all having to get ready and track down like to play a match on the pitch. Insanity. So kudos to
that's a lot.
him. He
So
spearheaded that, navigated it, made it look like it was a legitimate pro match. And I think everybody walked away both entertained and life changed.
yes, Yes. Entertained, I will agree with. Maybe not life change, but hey. But all right. Well, we appreciate it. Take care and good luck this weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Wes. We'll
Yep.
chat soon.
See ya. Great stuff from her. Love Dani and her commitment, and Jeff up there as well because Jeff is fantastic. And can't forget Landon. Landon's the guy that just is there to help. That's pretty much what his job is, and he does a great job at it. So, all right. Next up, we go ahead and talk U.S. men's national team as they put up a big win against Mexico in friendlies, and they have also outscored their opponents 4-0, ringing up 2 clean sheets now as they prepare for Jamaica in the Nations League, which you can catch game 2 of that in St. Louis at St. Louis City's Park up there. So that's going to be awesome, November 18th. But this match could live up to the hype. USA has had Jamaica's number in this match. And I mean, I feel with this newly revamped team and hungry coach, this US team could do something special here. And I mean, I talk in, I'm going to butcher it probably, but Pachetnio, Pacho,
Pacheco.
come at me, huh?
Pacheco.
I think it's Pacho. Pat Pachia. Whatever. I'm I'm done with it. But anyway, new coach coming in. He's got him going. I mean, they're gonna head to Kingston, Jamaica on November 14th to go for the first part of this, and then they're gonna finish it out in St. Louis, Missouri. So, I mean, it's quarterfinal round, and look, I mean, you got big stuff going on for Team USA right now as they're trying to refine their identity after everything that happened. And really, they aren't looking horrible. And to put up 2 clean sheets over the last 2 friendlies has been nice. But out of the 32 matches between them and Jamaica since 1988, 23 of 32 were decided by a goal or less. So this is going to be a fun one, like I mentioned. And overall, U.S. men's national team holds a 19-3-10 record against Jamaica. U.S. men's team won the first 3 editions, and yeah. Then in Jamaica, U.S. has faced, they call it the Reggae Boys, on the road a total of 10 times, with the contest being held at the office in Kingston. And the series on Jamaican soil remains close, with 6 of 10 meetings ending in draws. So, I mean, that's incredible. U.S. holds a slight 3-1 and then 6 advantage there. So they come into the Gateway City. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm excited for it, but what are your thoughts on this newly revamped team? Have you gotten to watch any of it?
I haven't, but I will say that I know enough to know that they've gotten better,
Yeah.
and Mexico's gotten worse. Uh, so
I mean, that
that's
is
who
true. That is true.
I mean, they're just they're trying to redefine their identity at the moment as well.
Yeah.
But they're on decent track. Um, just their soccer overall around the world, is played at a very high level.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just in North America where North America and Africa probably where
Sure.
they struggle with it, as much. But yeah, no, it's good for them, and hopefully they can put up a team that's worthy of a World Cup or
Yeah.
you this time around.
We need it.
Uh,
That's for sure.
right. But yeah, no, but no, good for them. I'm excited to see what they can do. So I'll cheer them on, obviously, just not whenever they're playing against Mexico. But
Sure.
the,
Sure.
the,
I mean, right now, I mean, we just beat them 2-0, so, but that was a friendly, so I guess it didn't count, right?
no, but I'd say that most people take it pretty seriously,
Okay.
regardless if it's friendly or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've definitely, that's one thing I do like about soccer fans. Like, even if so in the NFL, you have preseason as the equivalent maybe to this, but NFL, you got people just out there like, oh, woohoo, cool. But
Well, the
soccer, I
thing
mean,
is,
they're always cheering them on.
well, the thing is, like unless they're like going to compete like for like a cup,
Yeah,
so like the CONCACAF or the Gold Cup or the Copa America, there's pretty much everything outside of just of like tournaments like that are
yeah,
considered these, so um,
sure.
so it, but those records do still kind of matter, even if it's a friendly, because they use those wins to kind of see where they're going to be placed at,
Yeah,
um, in tournaments that are coming ahead.
well said, well said. All right, next up, we head into the local sports update brought to you by Trackside Burgers. They're open at 1515 West 10th Street. Go get some weekend barbecue today and tomorrow. You won't regret it. And yeah, go see Chef Mike tonight, just before the football game. He might be doing an after the game thing, depending on if they have food or not. So be on the lookout, tune into their social media and find out what's going on there. Chef Mike and his crew, Friday night football. And yeah. So
Please,
MSSU volleyball, though, do what?
Jeff, Mike, and the boys.
I mean, for real. There's there's a couple women on staff, but I don't think I've seen them at the night. I think I've seen them afternoon. But yeah, at night
That's a
that should be their title.
well, it's a reference to the movie The Other Guys.
True.
I don't know if you, I
Now
don't know if
now
you,
I get it. Yep. You did. Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Good one.
thank you.
I'm a little out of it this week. Definitely feeling it, but all right. MSSU volleyball returns home to face Washburn tonight, 6 p.m. Tomorrow against Emporia State at 3 p.m. And then soccer plays Sunday at Hal Bowden Field, 2 p.m. against UCO. And then MSSU football heads to Washburn to play tomorrow at 1 p.m. And then for the 2-minute warning brought to you by Ghetto Tacos, 10% off burritos all day long today. They do close at 5 though. So located at 536 Northeast Street in Webb City. Go get some molitas or whatever you want over there. 417-717-1260 or 61. Wow, almost gave out the wrong number. I did actually, but get the asada fries, and if you don't want that, they got the new California burrito on that menu. Go check that out. Looks delicious. But
Yes.
high school football picks are here again, and 4-3 Joplin plays their last home game against 2-5 Willard. Who you got?
Um, I'd say Joplin on this one. They've
Yeah, I'll
been
go
play,
with
they've
them.
been
I hope so too.
they've been playing pretty decent these last few weeks.
Yeah,
So
yeah. 3-4 Webb City hosts 6-1 Carthage.
um, I'm gonna say that I think Carthage is gonna win, but I'm gonna pick Webb.
Okay,
I'm gonna pick Webb with the upset this week. Any other year wouldn't be an upset, obviously, but
we
uh,
we
it's
picked you last week, by the way, when they played Republic, and we gave you Republic. So
oh yeah, you're welcome.
that was your preseason, right? So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna go with Webb City on this one, but I think
you
it'll
know,
be
I want to go Webb so bad, and I guess I will. Um, I want to pick Carthage being the obvious, but I really want Webb to win and go 4-4 and make it fun. Like the team has done well against Carthage regardless. I mean, I know it's been Roderick, but I mean, even last year they made it competitive too. So we'll see.
right.
We'll see. I like Webb though. Webb's got 2 at home this week and then next week to close out. So I'll take Webb here.
Yeah.
5-2 Neosho hosts 5-2 Republic in their final home game of the regular season. Who you got?
I think it's gonna be a good game. I honestly think it'll probably end up being like a shootout somewhere, probably like 27-30, some, like pretty close.
Yeah,
But I think man, it's tough. They're both pretty competitive teams this year.
true.
I'm probably gonna go with Neosho since they're at home. Uh, I'll go with it.
We match all of them. That's what I was going to say too, because I mean, I expected it to be kind of a thriller back and forth game. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be shocked. So,
Right.
but yeah, I'll take Neosho at home. Their last home game of the year. So, but all right, picks are in, music's here. So it's the end of another episode for Tony, Jensen, Clint, and myself. Have a great weekend. Make sure you go get some food from any of our sponsors. Any plans this weekend, or are you just chilling?
Nah, Maple Leaf. I'm gonna be in the Maple Leaf parade. So you guys watching
That
this?
is this weekend. Wow, time is flying.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, if you might see Ghetto out there, guys, one of our sponsors, go check them out at Maple Leaf. I bet they'll have a food truck. So go see Tony. Go see Tony.
Yeah. I'll be on the float. Follow with the t-shirt cannon.
Might have to bring the little guy out there. He's been dying to see nothing but drums. So I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah. That would be
We'll
good.
see. We'll see. Hopefully it's not like super cold in the morning, but we'll see.
It probably will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if I'm not there, we're just chilling. We're hanging out. Grades were due this week. Yeah, it's been a week. And then on top of that, just things on top of things at school. So, but yeah. Well, we'll see y'all next week on the Sports Timeout. Take care.